Hi guys, Crad here. In this video I'm going to talk about the LensLight Micro. This is a titanium bodied 1 AAA flashlight made in America by an American company. Just to go into the background of that a little bit, it's made by Chapman Leonard Enterprises. As you can see, they're located in North Hollywood, California. They actually make lighting equipment for Hollywood movie sets and things along those lines. That's their history. They started making flashlights in order to get light into a scene for filming quickly and easily, and that's a primary reason why they use a focusable aspheric I'm going to blind you. A focusable aspheric lens on all of their lights, because it puts such a nice diffuse beam of light onto a target. So in that way they're able to quickly and simply get light where they need it in a scene. Obviously it's not going to be a primary method, but it could have uses. And the flashlight community ate them up. They are they're involved in the community. You know, they're the people behind LensLight are friends with Strider and Starling Gear, and you know they're very active in the knife and light community. So getting on to the Micro itself, this, like I said, is a single AAA flashlight. I purchased mine through Blue Line Gear. Ryan is very helpful. He is an active duty police officer that runs a gear store. Carries a lot of Strider items along with LensLight and some other brands. When I first got it, I wanted to put a battery in it, of course. It actually comes with, I'll show you real quick, sort of skipping around here. Comes with a nice sticker, and it comes with a lithium AAA from Energizer. I didn't use that just because I use Inteloops. So I wanted to open it up to put a battery in it, and I took off the head because that's what looked like, or that's where it looked like the light came apart, and I found the LED. I tried getting the little brass pill out, and didn't have much luck with that. It looks like you would need 2 to 4 like a spanner or something to unscrew this. You can see the rubber O-ring in there and the aspheric lens, sort of acting like a fisheye magnifying glass. So obviously that's not the way that I'm going to get to the battery, but that'd be good for candlelight mode if you're familiar with the old Maglite solitaires. So you could set it like this and it'll illuminate a wide area of space. Of course this light doesn't tail stand, so you'd have to find a way to prop it up on something or put it inside of something to hold it upright. Or you don't have to, you can just lay it down. Whatever you want to do. So I realized then that you have to take the back part off to get to the battery compartment. You can see there the contact points. There's no spring on the back. It's just a raised surface area in the back of the titanium cap. And also no spring in the front. Again, just a raised surface. With no battery installed and the cap, the back cap fully tightened down, it's very hard to see that there's a seam there, especially thanks to their Delta wrap knurling that they put on the light. So that's why when I got it, I initially didn't think that this part actually separated. I assumed that the LED would stay in the head and the battery compartment would be accessible from the head. So despite the lack of springs, everything is very solid. there's no rattling, even with, well, you can hear my coffee cup rattling, but there's no rattling even with the body loosened. Then you fully tighten it and the light comes on. You can see here it has little holes drilled into the bezel. That way if you set it down, you'll still see light coming through, so you'll know that you've left your flashlight on, and you can turn that off if you so desire. So this is focusable. As you increase the distance between the aspheric lens and the LED emitter, you get a tighter focused beam. You actually get a good deal of travel out of the threads. I would have liked to have seen the threads actually extend all the way to the edge of the cap. That way you'll be threading the light even, you know, out to here. You'll be able to get a little bit more focus that way. As it is, most of the time when I use LensLight, I use it fully unfocused, just because the large diffuse beam is extremely useful. And I've heard it described before that somehow LensLight gets more lux out of a set number of lumens. So if you have a competitive flashlight company and they claim a certain number of lumens and LensLight claims the same number of lumens, the lux, or the amount of light that is actually usable by your eyes, is higher with the LensLight. And in use, I would agree with that. I would agree that I can see more of an area that's lit up with a LensLight flashlight at a set number of lumens than a competitive brand. So I don't really know the science behind that, but if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments. You can see that the CNC machine titanium is very thick, very robust. It's not a light light. That's silly. It's not a lightweight flashlight for sure, at least in this size range. And the keyring hole here that you could also tie a paracord lanyard to. I've seen a lot of these with nice lanyards and beads of a matching material, such as titanium, or they make this in copper. A lot of people will tie a lanyard and put a copper bead on the copper lights. But yeah, some AAA lights, they're really chintzy, I guess, on the lanyard holes that they use. Sometimes they're really tiny holes drilled through a really thin section of the material, and those have actually been able to be worn through by something like a keyring split ring, especially on the aluminum lights, where the aluminum's a fairly soft material. So this uses an XPG2 LED. It has a 40 lumen output and a length of about 3 inches. The bezel diameter is over ½ an inch in diameter, so 0.65 inches. So as I mentioned before, for being a AAA flashlight, this is larger than most. This is another AAA flashlight. This one's made by Claris. It is 80 lumens on high, also a titanium body. And you can get a pretty good idea here, the size difference. Length isn't really too much of a difference. It's really just that the loop here is larger, sticks out further. But the diameter is where you get a pretty big difference. This is the Claris MIX6 AAA in titanium. Like I said, it has double the lumen output to the LensLight. And something worth mentioning as far as the size of the LensLight goes, If you wanted to buy a light that was the same size and didn't mind that it ran a AA instead of a AAA, Clarus makes a light in titanium, the MI1A, that it's a limited edition light from them. It's the same size as the LensLight Micro, but runs on a single AA battery. It has 180 lumen output, and I believe a greater runtime. Well, if you use it on its low mode, it's got 126 hour maximum runtime. If you use it on the 45 lumen output, which is 5 lumens higher than this, it's an 8-hour runtime, whereas this has a 7-hour runtime for the 40 lumens that it puts out. So it's just worth noting. I wouldn't say that one light is better than the other light, as far as, you know, comparing it to the Clarus AAA or the Clarus AA. I would say that the reason to buy the LensLight over either one of those is the fact that it's made in America, designed by Americans. All of the money stays in this country if you're from this country and that matters to you. The quality of build, the confidence that it gives you in hand, knowing that the people behind the light will always have your back. I've heard of one time one of the aspheric lenses was broken on one of these micros, and they sent it back to LensLight, and in like a week or so they had it repaired and sent back. That individual didn't want it replaced. He wanted, you know, he wanted his light just with a repaired aspheric lens, and they took care of him in no time flat. They have, you know, lifetime warranties and excellent customer service. And they're not a nameless, faceless company, you know, not nameless, but they're not a faceless company located somewhere in the world that you've never been to and probably will never go to. They're, you know, they have a face to the company. They have people that you interact with if you're on the forums, like the Usual Suspect Network or Candle Power forums. You know their history. You know their goals. There's just a lot to love about this light. When I carry this, I feel like I'm carrying something that my friends made and put a lot of love into. When I'm carrying one of the other lights, it might be brighter, might be lighter and smaller, but it feels like a light that I found on the internet and just bought it. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you like LensLight, if you've ever tried them. And I will not exactly take beam shots. It's like I've mentioned in the past. I don't really have a camera that's, you know, good enough for that or set up for that. But I will show you sort of what the beam patterns look like, just as far as comparative brightness and output and stuff like that. My camera tries to auto adjust, so it probably won't be perfect for that. But if you do want to see sort of what the beam pattern of this light looks like compared to another light or two, I will put that at the end of this video. Okay, so I'm just in the closet underneath the stairs, which I like to call the Harry Potter room. This is the LensLight Micro. It only has one mode. Like I said, it has a very diffuse, very usable beam. The tint is warm to neutral, somewhere in that range. It really lights up the whole room quite well. I'm going to focus it in a little bit. This room's maybe 8 feet to that wall. So this is where the cap actually unthreads. as you can see, it really could have been focused to a pinpoint, you know, where you actually see the square of the LED. If they had added an extra, I don't know, inch and a half to the light. I don't know if anyone would want that, but that's what could have been done. And again, all the way unfocused. Fills the room. The light is very usable, even if I ceiling bounce it like this. For a little bit of comparison, this is the Claris X6 that I have. It comes on in medium. As you can see, it's a very cool white. The light itself isn't as usable, even though it comes on, I think, at 45 lumens. Let me double check that, so I'm not giving you bad info. Oh no, comes on at 26 lumens. So this is a little bit more than half the output of the LensLight. Then we'll turn it off and turn it right back on. It's a twisty, and that is low. That's 3 lumens. And then high, which is 85 lumens. So you can see my camera's trying to auto adjust, and that's why I don't claim to do beam shots, because that's not going to be very useful for you engaging anything. There's probably a way to turn that off, but that's not really what my channel's about. Again, here's the LensLight Micro, fully dialed out, 40 lumens. In the center, you can see the X6 beam at 26 lumens. It's a much more tightly focused beam, considering that it has a reflector as opposed to an aspheric lens. And this is the X6 in the middle at 3 lumens. And even then, you can see it. You can see the 3 lumens in the middle of the 40 lumens of the LensLight, just because it's so diffuse. And then here's the 85 lumens of the X6. So I hope this was useful for anyone watching, and thank you for watching.